branches. And it's summer here, up at 7,000 feet, which means my apricot blush climbing rose is in bloom. Now, to keep it coming with roses, you want to deadhead them, but it's not really deadheading. These go from a beautiful apricot yellow to a white. Once they're white, I pick them, and that gives extra energy for these new buds, which have yet to come. But come with me to see what I do with them next. You can dry the rose petals, and you can use the rose hips for your tea. Okay, so first I washed everything, including this one that I just picked. You want to make sure there's no bugs or dirt on them. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'm pulling the stems off. These have the rose hips in them. They're full of vitamin C. These can be dried separately. You could refrigerate them and just use them over the week in your tea. Here are the washed, trimmed heads. And what I'll be doing is just pulling the leaves off, keeping that there, and putting these on a little drying tray, these roses. So you don't waste anything. And I suppose you could do these with store-bought flowers, but I would be careful to wash them first if you're using them for a culinary purpose, which I am, because you do not want to ingest any kind of chemicals. There's nothing quite as delicious as a rose-infused tea in the summer afternoon to really bring the flavor of summer to your teapot. This tray will be left out in the summer sun to dry. I'm going to take a handful of these for my pot of tea. And I'm going to throw some rose hips in there too, and some black tea. Some of these rose hips in there, lots of vitamin C. Okay, here are my rose hips, rose petals, my oolong tea bag, which I'll hang inside the pot. Now I'm going to boil some water. Here has and let that steep. There's the rose bush from whence come today's rose petals.
There's mostly rose petals in it?
Yep, rose petals and rose hips from our rose bush.